Hey there, it's Jared Hamilton with the Hamilton Group at Cherry Creek Mortgage, and welcome to another edition of Java with Jared. Hope you guys are doing fantastic and that you had a wonderful week. Well, in terms of interest rates, it was a pretty quiet week with not a lot of volatility. Thank God, in recent memory, we've seen some pretty huge movements here on a weekly basis, and this week we did not. In fact, rates finished the week a little bit better, nothing huge, but slightly better than where they started. So that's good. And hopefully we're establishing maybe some solidification here and not so much volatility. And hopefully that might make us be poised to maybe see a bit of an improvement here and interest rates get better over the coming weeks. Who knows? I'm not predicting that that's going to happen, but we might see interest rates maybe be poised, at least with this solidification, to make up some of the ground that we have lost over the recent months. The big news this week was Ben Bernanke again. He was testifying before Congress at the semi-annual testimony that he does on Capitol Hill. And actually, just as a side note, this is probably the last time we'll see Bernanke do that. His term expires on January 31st, 2014. He probably will not be Federal Reserve Chairman anymore. We're going to have a new one. It will probably be Janet Yellen. But anyway, last time we'll see Ben. Now, he said some things recently that is really under different types of kind of testimony and Q&A that he's been doing when he's speaking. He said some things that have really spooked the interest rate market, the bond market, and caused interest rates to get worse really quickly. Luckily, that did not happen this week. So that is a very good thing. And because he didn't make any major statements to spook the market, we did not see the volatility this week, and actually, rates did improve a little bit. One little other sidebar that he did mention, he used the word deflation, which is, if you're wanting to see low interest rates, it's not a good thing for the economy, but it could be a good thing for low interest rates. That deflation word came into his vernacular, and market didn't really glom onto that, but it was out there first time he said anything about that in recent years. So anyway, all right, for economic data, not a whole lot that was released this week. We did see retail sales. That came in, at least the core rate, just flat. Really nothing there. It was a little bit worse than expectations. Expectations were for a 0.5 tenths of an increase, but retail sales came in pretty flat. CPI, that did come in at a 0.5 tenths of an increase, which was a little bit worse than expected. Expectations were for 7 tenths. The core rate came in as expected at 0.2% increase. Both pretty weak, pretty tame. CPI is a measure of inflation at the consumer level. We also saw building permits come in a lot weaker than expected. Last month, they were at about 1 million units. This month, they were at only 911,000. Expectations were for 985,000. So that was a lot weaker than expected. Nothing too major to really look at. And let me talk about also building permits, housing starts. That came in also worse than expected at 836,000 units. Expectations were for 928,000 units. So both of those were a pretty big decline. Now, again, nothing major to really worry about, but one of the bright spots in our economy has been housing. And so if this is a trend that begins developing, people will say, listen, these higher interest rates are really affecting the economy, one of our bright spots, because the rest of the economy really isn't doing that great. And so then that could force the Federal Reserve to, really continue with this quantitative easing, because it would show, if it's a trend, that this is affecting housing, our bright spot. So next week, we're going to see more housing numbers come in with new and existing homes numbers, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. That's it for Java with Jared. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. If you ever have any questions, please remember to give us a call. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're working this weekend, so are we, so give us a call and we'd be happy to help. Have a wonderful week, and thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.